Hello, this is my Lab 1 submission for Cybersecurity 501 with St. Bonaventure University. The purpose of this lab is to gather reconnaissance information on a target of our choice which has a bug bounty program set up. The target that I've chosen for this lab is Twilio.com, which is a software that allows developers to programmatically make and receive phone calls. With that, you can send and receive text messages or phone calls to any mobile device in order to make API calls through their web services. I have some experience using their software, so I thought it'd be interesting to try and gather some information on them. So number one on this assignment asks us to find some organizational structure on this company or this domain. So I'll run a quick whois on them and find that their admin and tech representatives, first of all, are set to themselves, and any information you want from them requires you to fill in an application from a Mark Monitor service here. And aside from that, we don't get much information here. It seems like they really have covered their tracks. We get some domain status. We see that their registrar expires actually next year. But aside from that, it seems like this is pretty well covered up except for maybe the name servers. So moving on, just find some of the domain names that they own. We can run an NS lookup. We'll say set type equal NS and then the website. And we see that they have some non-authoritative name servers here with DNS made easy can be found. If we want to find their IP ranges, we can do host twilio.com. I need to get out of DNS lookup first. Host twilio.com. There we go. And we see that they have a number of addresses. Some for the website and some of them for the mail, handled through different pphosted.com servers. So let's look up this server here. So we'll run a whois on 99.84.101.122, and we get a lot of information here about this server. Let's see, organization, Amazon, so they're using Amazon Web Services on these hosts. And yeah, that seems to be the biggest information that I'm getting here at a quick glance. But either way, we see that Twilio is running off of mainly these IP addresses that are listed there, and we now know that they are AWS services. So in order to find some of their employees and get some information on them, we can run the harvester. The harvester, there it is. And this may take a second or two as it's going on. While this is going, that's the wrong thing. We can take a look at the Netcraft hosting history here. I have the site already pulled up. We can see that they've been using AWS servers and AWS load balancers to run their services for at least what's shown here. Of course, the history isn't too far back, but I think it's safe to assume that they've been on here for a little while, at least for the purposes of this exercise. And the web server versions haven't changed much since then. There have been some IP addresses. Some of these we saw in the previous example with the host twilio.com command, and some of these are new, but the point is still that their hosting history has been on Amazon Web Services. And we can find a bit of rogue and leaked information from these site and file type operators on Google, but there hasn't been much that I could see. There's some old sweepstakes information. But again, this is just a participant package, I guess. There's not much to be found here. Quick deploy from AWS. There's not much to be found here. And even looking up XML files doesn't tell us much either. So, going back to the harvester, we see a big list of names show up here. We have a personalized support manager, a warehouse team member, healthcare enterprise account executive. So yeah, this is an expansive list. Not all of them have titles, and we just have to assume that it's because it's not listed on their LinkedIn profile. But either way, easy to see how we can get this information. Let me try and speed this up here. We can find information on both their MX and NS servers using DNS recon-dtwilio.com. And we see their NS and MX servers all over here. Additional host names on their IP ranges, we can use the host names that were found earlier. I'm just doing some quick copy paste here. And if I remember correctly, all of them just returns something like this. It just returns to a CloudFront server. There's not much information to be found from their IP ranges. It is pretty limited from inside of AWS. And finally, we can perform a zone transfer using dig. And here we see all of the server names that are part of the zone transfer. Again, we see the DNS made easy and ACAM and transfer has failed. Yeah, so apologies for going a bit over the 5 minutes, but I believe that I have shown off all the points that were required of this assignment. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.